Welcome to Turning Point. I'm Becky Alfrey.
And I'm Panda. Today's show is all about beginnings.
Whenever there is an end to something, relationships, life patterns, families facing addiction, there is always hope and there is always joy.
Anyone who has either suffered or knows someone that struggles with addiction understands that everyone has their own unique journey. Dr. Ray Montella, a licensed clinical psychologist with Addiction Therapeutic Services, which serves the entire Coachella Valley and beyond, explains how their intensive outpatient service is different than most recovery services. He personally sees each individual he works with, not as a specific gender or age, but as a person struggling that he can give help to.
Addiction has no prejudice. Mm-hmm. It doesn't care what size, shape, money, brains, and the overall thing is when I treat somebody, I don't see them as an age or a gender or a social structure. I see as a person who's suffering. Mm-hmm. And how can we relieve that? What do we need to do to relieve some of that?
Intensive outpatient. Explain exactly what that is, and also how yours is unique in the fact that you're getting extra help that some of the outpatients do not offer.
Yes, and that is why at Addiction Therapeutic Services we have, at the whole staff, first of all, it's very intimate, meaning that we can get something done immediately. We could just sit down and there's no calling levels and getting permissions down the roads and checking. We could sit down and go, what's the deal, what's the situation, what's the best treatment? So we could do that instantly, really, for a situation. And we have, which is really uncommon, licensed psychologist, myself, and licensed marriage and family therapy, and decades worth of experience in recovery and licensing counselors, which is unheard of. You barely get that at residential.
Exactly. So at an intensive outpatient, that is exceptional.
It's the heart. Really, the heart is what's amazing. Mm-hmm. The above and beyond. I mean, there's so many things we do that there's just no income for, like out and beyond, traveling over, trying to see, following up with, assisting in stuff that for 3 hours a day, 5 days a week is. The time invested is like when they walk out the door, they're not out the door. It's almost they're part of the whole until the whole program is done. It's like a full attentive service.
The other advantage is when somebody has a good job and they don't want to lose their job, they're able to call your service.
Absolutely.
And so no one even has to know.
Nope.
I think the confidentiality is also one of the things that is important in today's world, mm-hmm. because there's still a stigma.
Yes.
Is there not? I mean,
there's still. It's fortunately that's lessening, right. Because I think the huge heroin and methamphetamine epidemic. I just got read in the New York magazine that heroin deaths have exceeded homicides.
I read something that they've like tripled, and I was blown away.
It is.
How could that many people get involved in? To me, that was a street drug, but not a suburb drug.
People outgrew it, or they were really.
Wow.
It's amazing. It's just a different world, and you need that level of depth and professionalism and dual diagnosis, because it's almost impossible to be doing drugs and not have depression or anxiety. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about how you have to remove the drug and then to see, is that depression biological? Is it, genetic? And if so, then there's meds.
And that was the other thing.
Right.
If it is chemical dependent, you also have someone on the staff
can do right there
that can take care of them medically.
Yes, physician's assistant who can check it for symptoms, prescribe.
So withdrawal problems, that is taken care of in the center. You have everything covered,
right.
Basically.
I've worked in a lot of places over the past 20 years, in residentials and stuff, and when I look back, I can, places will remain nameless, but when I look back, I go, well, our outpatient is more intense, our intensive outpatient is more intense than some of the residential treatments. Yeah, okay, if somebody's, with the adolescent program now, if a kid is 12 or 17 or 30,
That's wonderful.
it's this human right there, right? Where are they in their life?
The adolescents are very lucky if they can get to you in the beginning
we're hoping
stages.
we can really help out in the valley.
I think you already have.
Get it early.
And that makes it even more powerful.
Yeah.
I do enjoy your personality. If I were coming to get help, I think that you would be an excellent choice.
I had some
Seriously.
guy say, just prior to coming here, a comment like, I wasn't that bad, I was a functioning alcoholic. I said, well, didn't you just say you drove your truck into a 10-foot ravine?
Wow.
You got told from your employer that you need to get help, and you got thrown out of your family.
But the denial card is very strong. That's right.
So I go, really? Okay, so what kind of function is that? Right?
Boy, that's interesting though that he would say that he's functioning.
But he knew he was kind of teasing back. It doesn't have to be painful and deep and drudgery.
No,
it's just the light has to go off. That aha moment. Like, wow, did I really do that, or am I doing that? Doesn't have to be, I'm a horrible person, look what I did.
It isn't horrible, people.
It's not.
Exactly. It's like, and also chemically, we're all different and unique.
Most of us want to be liked, but if we didn't receive the healthy nurturing at a young age, we often go to great lengths just to feel loved. Rob Grace shares his difficult but greatest transformation.
It's interesting. I was thinking about it, and life pushes us to do what's necessary for growth. And when we, most of us, and myself included for many years, would reject that push. And
completely.
You go for what's comfortable and what's easy in the moment, not seeing the vision that lies ahead, not willing to do the work to suffer or to go without in order to become a better, stronger person.
Delayed gratification.
Yeah, it's kind of the American way.
Right.
So my life, going back, I led a very, I don't know how you say, ingenuine life. I was not true to myself. I had no idea I was doing that.
Right.
But I lived for other people.
It's easy to fall into that.
Is it?
I think it is.
Yeah, I mean, that was my path, my journey. But I was so hungry, so starved to be loved and accepted that I worked diligently to be what I thought the world wanted me to be, And it wasn't until I did everything right, seemingly right, worldly right, and had the life that the world told you you're supposed to have in order to be happy, and found myself unhappy, which is a weird paradigm to be in. You do everything right, you have everything that you're supposed to have to be happy, and you find yourself with an inner sadness.
Incomplete.
Yeah. And I would have never pushed through that pain. The people that I loved did that for me. The life that I created was dissolved without my intention. And for the first time in my life, I found myself alone. And for the first time in my life, I thought, what do you want? Who do you want to be?
That's a gift in itself.
Yes, it was a huge gift in hindsight. But in the moment, it's painful and confusing and difficult. So much easier to make other people's dreams come true. It's so much easier to be loved for who they think you are or who they want you to be, than to have the strength to be genuine to yourself and be who you are and figure out who that is and live that authentic life and let go of the desperate need to be loved. I'm okay now if you don't like me. because I like myself for the first time. You know, I don't need to be loved by the world at large or strangers, or I don't need to be right. I'm happy for the first time ever with
That is
who
the
I truly
most
am.
amazing thing ever. And I think that's what I've been searching for my whole life. Because it's easy to try to make everyone else around you happy. And unfortunately, it's miserable once you get to that point. So you lost everything and you decided to move to Palm Springs.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, like I'm a crier.
That's okay.
Which is also a gift. Like, I've never been able to stop it. It's like this thing where, and I know I hold no stress in my body, no pain, no ailment. And I really believe it's because I process my emotions immediately, and I've never feared away from showing my emotions. So I lost my marriage and my home, and I was alone for the first time. And everywhere that I drove, every restaurant that I went to, every gas station, every street corner had a memory of the marriage that I had lost. And it was so painful, you know? And I felt I had to go somewhere new. I had to go somewhere new.
Right. And redefine yourself.
Yeah.
And recreate yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
And my ex took my child out of state to a very rural area without any type of, like, there was no
Internet?
jobs.
No, I'm just kidding.
There's the internet half the time, yeah. But, you know, there's a Pizza Hut there, so I thought about working at a Pizza Hut.
Right.
To be near my child. But, the reality of the situation is there's not a livelihood that I can create. There's not a future I can create for my child there.
Right.
So I'm alone against my will, and I thought, where will
you
I
want to
go?
be the best person you can be, and you want to be the best father you can be.
Yeah. And, you know, life is never what we, dream
Plan
of.
it to be.
Or plan it to be.
Right.
But the beauty is it's not supposed to be. Life is not supposed to be easy. And there is no good. There's no, my reality, what my spirit resonates with is that there is no evil versus good. Like, even the people that have offended me, have hurt me, have violated me, have stolen from me, are a gift to me. And my answer to that pain is twofold. A, I embrace you. I love you. And this that you are giving me is a reflection of your pain. And my only response is compassion to you, because you must be in such a horrible place. And thank you for this experience, because the deeper the pain that we endure opens us up for its opposite of joy. And I've had moments, seconds, of pure joy, of like a true happiness that comes from my spirit. And I know that those moments wouldn't be possible without the opposite moments that I've had in life. So
I love that. So when you moved to Palm Springs, you just let life come to you and come through you.
I was afraid.
Oh, of course.
Like, I had no money left, and my car was not operating, and I had no job. And frankly, I have no skills. I mean, I'm not, I didn't.
I beg to differ. I think you have a lot of skills.
But I'm not like, I'm not an attorney. I don't have a, legal degree. I'm not a doctor.
Yet?
I don't have.
No, I'm just kidding.
I'm saying, like, I don't have a trade with an education or background. I came and I thought there was a chance that I wouldn't survive. I did. But it was a chance that I was willing to take, because I could no longer live
the way you were living
someone else's life.
Oh, I love that. And how true is that? How many of us actually live a life that we just think is what the social standards want us to be?
We're brainwashed.
Completely.
Society brainwashes us.
Yeah.
And
you fought the brainwash and you got out of it. So now you're living in Palm Springs.
Yes. And so I thought to myself, how can I provide value? What can I do to make a difference in other people's lives? How can I celebrate the people of this community And I didn't know how, but each and every day I woke up with that intention, and as needs emerged in others, I found a way to fill them.
Starting out professionally in the fashion industry with an exciting, fast-paced career, Trishia Grace-bazerman made the thoughtful and loving choice of devoting herself full-time to raising her family. As happened to many in her generation, she went through a divorce and made the wise and brave decision to reinvent herself.
When I was about 7, I thought, I want to be a fashion designer. So that was always what I had set in my mind to do. And I went after that, and I really, in my younger, early 20s, worked for a brand and created a very successful line. And
Can you say the brand?
sure, it was Teas of California.
Okay.
It was children's wear, and
Fabulous.
it was a successful, fun 10-year run. I got to grow and build the company from nothing into a very large company.
Wow.
So after that, what I really wanted in my life was to have a family. Like, I really wanted to have my children and have a family. I have 3 beautiful girls, and I retired from my career to stay home with my kids. And I thought, that was the most important thing to me. And I always thought, when I retired, I said I'll never go back into the fashion apparel industry because it's for younger people, and it takes a lot of energy and a lot of hours. And
Boy, I'm glad you changed your mind. But what made you change your mind?
well, I had to follow a path in my life where I had to follow my truth. And in following my truth and being my authentic self, unfortunately, I went through a divorce, and I had to recreate myself. I sold my house. My dream house that I built, and I had my kids mostly raised. And I thought, you know what? If I'm gonna change this, I'm gonna change everything. And I changed everything and moved to Los Angeles from Huntington Beach, and I was living in the city for the first time, and I had to sit really quiet for a year.
Seriously, that is a wonderful thing to tell people that don't know what they're doing.
Right.
You took a year. That was perfect.
So I just sat quiet for a year and just got in tune with, what are you good at doing? I had taught the art of cooking for 6 years when my kids were growing up, and I was like, no, that's not really it. I was like, what do you do best? And this little voice was like, you got to go back to the fashion industry. Wow. But this other little voice was like, oh my God, you're too old to do that. You can't go back and do that.
That was your ego. You got to get rid of the ego. Okay.
So as it got quieter, and I was like, oh my God, why can't you do that? And so I just, I had this passion for, I'd never done women's wear. I'd never designed women's wear. So I had this passion for bringing women back to their femininity.
While you're telling us, we're going to have model Panda, and she is wearing one of your designs. So why don't you tell the audience what I love, the feminine and the frill. Oh my goodness, that's so pretty.
My lifestyle had always been feeling very feminine under everything that I wore, with these beautiful vintage slips. And, as a woman with curves and having kids, when I would put a slip on underneath the dress, you don't have to have something tight underneath to have your dress slip over what you're wearing and look beautiful. But I felt sexy and beautiful and feminine for myself. And I thought, all women should feel this way.
I totally agree.
All women should feel this way. And so I would wear the slips as dresses with little denim jackets, or as slip dresses,
very
outerwear,
cool
or like you saw in Panda, really cute, outerwear to go, out at night. And it was just kind of my personal style. And then I had fun. I decided, well, they need to be in colors. So then I would have fun dyeing them.
Oh my goodness, how gorgeous.
Dyeing them in beautiful colors. So
and that's very Victoria-like.
Right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, she looks
and
very.
She's doing the Victoria-like real well, but also she's doing the style. That was that era.
Right.
So you've brought that very romantic. I would call that the romantic era.
Definitely. where it was the art of allure. It was we take time to get dressed. We feel feminine and beautiful for ourselves and owning that. And I wanted all women to feel that. So I opened up an atelier in West Hollywood, which is just a beautiful historical building, and it's by appointment only. And I started over-dyeing in all these fun colors, these slip dresses.
That was gorgeous.
Thank you.
Yeah, and the color is beautiful.
Right.
Okay.
And then I started manufacturing, just flowy feminine dresses that could layer over the slips and put together a really nice collection that way. And I thought, okay, what am I going to do with this? Like, where am I going to go with this? So I decided to brand the line. So I had a very wonderful team come in and help me put together branding for the line. It's very versatile, travels really nicely, it's comfortable. I'm going to be doing a nationwide launch for boutiques.
Okay.
And then I'm going to be doing also, not just for little boutiques throughout the country, and then I'll have online sales as well.
So you'll be putting your brand in different boutiques.
Yes.
That's fabulous.
Yes.
And this is the beginning.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. And you just followed a dream, basically.
I moved the fear aside. That's the biggest thing. Is it's like when you're starting over, when you're 55 years old, and you haven't been in the workforce, and the apparel industry changed dramatically. And you know what I did was I really took the time to just get quiet and listen to the path.
Many of us have been disillusioned by our present political system, and rightfully so. One of our local celebrities and radio personalities, Rich, the coach Gilgallon, host of Hot Talk, shares how and why he first became involved in politics.
Well, I was my class president from Framingham North High School. And in 1972, you could, for the first time, vote as an 18-year-old. And so shortly after that, I went to the town clerk's office of my hometown. I said, hey, if you can vote at 18, can you run for something?
Oh, I love it.
And this was so long ago. This guy's name was Mike Ward. He was smoking a cigar in his office. He goes, yeah, what do you want to run for? I said, I don't know. What do you got? He said, well, we have selectmen, which is like, would be like a city councilor. I said, no, I don't think so. We got public works. I said, no. We got park commissioner.
And what does that entail?
I said, that sounds like it might be me. I said, what do they do? He said, well, they give jobs to people. They fill the parks in the summer with, workers. Yeah. And they keep up the park and recreation and maintenance. I said, I'm going to run for that.
That actually sounds pretty good.
And so he told me, he said, well, go ahead, but there's two guys that have been there for 20 years. You're not going to win. But I said, but feel free to run. I said, fine.
Challenge accepted.
So I ran, knocked on thousands of doors, and at age 18 got elected park commissioner of the town of Framingham.
So mainly to get your name out there, you went door knocking and introduced yourself and said,
my name's Rich Gilgallon. I'm running for park commissioner. I hope you'll consider me. A bunch of friends of mine and I, in my mother's garage, cut out a stencil from one, cardboard sign, Gilgallon for park commissioner, spray painted, 300, and we drive around town and look for nice locations on corners. I'd go up and knock on the door, say, my name's Rich Gilgallon. I'm running for park commissioner. Could I put a sign on your lawn?
I love it.
And they would say, well, young man, you go right ahead and put a sign out there.
I'm sure everyone loved that.
Well, it was a unique time, because the voting age had lowered.
Right.
This is 1972.
People weren't scared of someone knocking on their door at that point.
Very good point. The Vietnam War was still going on, though it was winding down at the time. So there was a lot of excitement, and I always was fascinated with politics. I grew up in a very political family. My grandmother was the Democratic County chairwoman for Lackawanna County in northeastern Pennsylvania in Scranton. Wow. And I just had a bug for it.
So it's just in your blood.
It was, yeah.
Wow.
When I wound up working for other candidates, and actually my job was in the garbage dump in Framingham. And at one point, you want to talk about turning point.
Yeah.
A friend of mine called me up and said, I have a friend of mine who's running for Congress. It was an empty seat. And are you working for anybody yet? There were like 5 or 6 or 8 people running. I said, no. I said, send them out. I'll take them around. Turned out that guy got elected to Congress.
Wow.
And so I was in the garbage dump on Friday and was working in the Capitol in Washington, D.C. on Monday.
Wow.
So,
that's a huge change.
That's a big turning point there, yeah.
Did you miss the dump?
I did not.
I believe that.
My mother said, you're doing the same business, you
Taking out the trash.
You were taking out you're working at the garbage over here, now you're working with the garbage over there. But,
I love it.
Well, for somebody who loves politics, to actually work on Capitol Hill.
Yeah, that must have been really
exciting. The congressional
exciting.
office was very,
Being
very exciting.
young and that was a really
time.
wonderful time.
Great time.
And Capitol Hill as well.
It's a very exciting place. Have you been to Washington, D.C.?
I haven't yet.
Yeah, you'd love it.
I will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try to stay away from politics because I'm so unknowledgeable, in all honesty, that I can't have a very good debate about them. But I'm fascinated by the entire process and what it's become in America and how powerful it really can be and how powerful our voices really can be if we're knowledgeable.
Look, one person can change the world.
You believe that?
One person can change the world. It's happened so many times in the history of this world where one person has made a decision and has changed the entire world. When we read about people in history, we because we read the word on the page, it seems to me that we forget that they're human beings.
Right.
When you talk about Caesar,
right.
I mean, when you talk about some of these great leaders in history, just watched the brilliant Netflix show, The Crown.
Oh, yeah.
Where John Lithgow plays Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill was one man.
He changed
and
the world.
He changed the world.
It's true.
He convinced his country that was not actually all that excited about it to fight the Nazis.
Wow.
And change the world.
Thank you for watching today's show. If you have a turning point you'd like to share, please call the number at the bottom of the screen.
All good things must come to an end. But don't worry, we'll be back next week with more inspiring stories that can change your life.
And remember, the secret to change is to focus all your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. Have a wonderful week.